Not so long ago, artificial intelligence seemed like something that could only exist in a science fiction movie. However, that's no longer the case. AI, as it's commonly called, is already well integrated into our daily lives, and that applies to the business world as well. That's precisely what PwC Luxembourg's 2021 Data Analytics and Artificial Intelligence Surveys shows. For this episode of TechTalk, Louise and I invited Thierry Kremser, Data and AI Leader, and Andreas Braun, AI Team Lead at PwC Luxembourg, to tell us all about the survey and share with us some of the most striking findings. So, let's jump right into it.
Welcome to a new episode of Tech Talk. This is episode 12, season 5. How are you, Carla? Welcome.
I'm good, and you, Luis?
I think I am good.
You think?
Yes, I had a wonderful weekend. I went to Maastricht, which is a lovely city in the north of Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
No, not in Luxembourg, but north,
Yes.
you know what I mean. And it was nice. So
Good.
we have today two, I would say, very interesting invitees because they deal with something that is probably the sexy bomb of the technology world nowadays.
Ooh.
Which is
AI?
artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
So may I introduce our guests?
Please go ahead.
So welcome to Thierry Kremser. Thierry works with us. He's the data and AI leader. And Andreas Braun, who is the AI team lead. How are you feeling?
Very good.
Excellent. Thank you.
No, thank you for having you here. I know you're busy people. Basically, for you to understand globally the difference between the two, Thierry leads more with the market part of it, and Andreas is more the technical part of it. Is it correct, my summary?
Yes, Andreas is the guru, and
So
I'm just supporting from a market
but you're a
perspective.
business guru, and he's the AI technology guru.
Yes.
We are gurus here. Are you guru, Carla?
I am the social media guru.
Exactly.
Am I, Luis?
You are. I give you the title. Yeah.
You passed the title to me. It's time.
Exactly. So let's just kick off this with the first question. Do you want me to address that one?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so it's more giving context to what about this episode. Now, I some months ago we released a survey which actually shaped this episode, and the survey is pretty much called the Data Analytics and AI Survey. So it's just to know how this came to life and what was the idea, or what is the idea behind this type of surveys.
So, as you said, Luis, AI is the sexy bomb in technology nowadays. And so everybody's talking about AI. Even we're talking before about Netflix series about it. And obviously this is something that is important also here in Luxembourg, and we wanted to understand and assess the maturity of the Luxembourg market, how it is developing, growing, and this is why we launched this second edition of our Data and AI survey, which we conducted between I think May to June 2021. Mm-hmm. And the previous edition was in 2019, so we'll try to do this every second year.
Okay.
So it was a questionnaire which we launched to our clients, and we had about 50 respondents representing all industries, so 1/3 from financial sector, 1/3 from industry and services, and 1/3 from public sector, with a good balance of small to big companies on the Luxembourg market, at least.
That's interesting. So yeah, okay. So it touches a range of industries, different size of companies. Okay, that's very good to know.
Indeed.
Yes. And Andreas, you were like leading the process, or how?
Indeed. So I was responsible for managing the survey, for pestering everybody to get the responses in time, and then, of course, for analyzing and producing this beautiful report that you can also download from our website. And I'm sure that within the links provided with this podcast, you will also find the full edition of this survey report.
Okay.
For sure.
And the data processing was helped by an AI.
We rather used human intelligence called Adi, who is working in our team and was analyzing and crunching all of the numbers.
Okay.
But of course, we are supported by all of the data processing and AI tools that even many of our clients are using, as we found out.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Carla, you can go.
Yes. So the survey, which is called Data Analytics and AI Survey, focus on both. Why is that? Why to put them together? Is there a special reason?
Well, I think artificial intelligence needs data analytics in a way, because data analytics is helping you putting together the foundation for your artificial intelligence. To be able to test artificial intelligence or to use artificial intelligence, you need data with proper quality. You need the right infrastructure. I'm talking about technology infrastructure, but you need also some governance around it. So I think both topics go hand in hand, and one doesn't go without the other.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
in a way, AI technology devours data because it needs to learn. Right? It's like, I think data, help me please if I am correct, but it develops the patterns and...
Indeed. So you're completely correct here. So AI benefits really from the large, gigantic amounts of data that we are generating these days. So one says that the amount of data humanity generates essentially doubles every year. A lot of it is coming from social media. We post images, we post tweets, we post videos on Instagram or TikTok. And all of this is data that an AI can feed from. And essentially, this is how also AI has become so powerful in the last decade. Just the growing amount of data has allowed AI to become more powerful and meaningful also for businesses nowadays.
The famous algorithm.
Yes, there's an algorithm behind who can learn. Some of them, no? Some technology can learn. It's called machine learning, correct also?
Correct. So, I mean, machine learning is kind of a subset of artificial intelligence without becoming too technical. But we are teaching machines on how to learn, and that is really all of the AI that we see in businesses nowadays. So it's not like the Terminator-style AI that learns itself, takes over humanity, wants to destroy us, or wants to help us. So that is really not what we see in the market yet. And some people say we might not see it for various decades or centuries.
Well, I will recall a child's dream, Andreas, but I loved the Transformers, and I still love them. So I hope one day we can see them.
But you don't only need very excellent software and AI engineers for that. A lot of it with the Transformers has to do also about appropriate mechanical engineering. So you better hope for Tesla version 2.
Okay. So I will jump to the third one. So if you had to highlight 2 trends, but I said 2, but it can be 3 or 4, okay? What you really think it's the most relevant takeaways of the survey, which will they be?
Well, I could even only start with 1. AI is becoming more mature. So when 2 years ago we were asking, a lot of it was still in the experimentation phase. And now we can really say that AI is becoming mature. This means that organizations are just using it much more commonly. When we ask, around 75% of organizations are already using AI or are planning to use it in the near future.
75,
that is,
wow.
3 in 4 companies have some idea of how they want to apply AI already in Luxembourg. And that is quite an impressive number, and also quite a growth number from what we've seen just in 2019. So now 2.5 years ago, or almost 3 years ago. So that is one of the things which we have seen. The second aspect of this is that we see a much increased diversity of how AI is used and how it is used by the different organizations. So it's no longer that they use AI, but rather they use supervised learning to solve a specific problem. They use neural networks to solve another task. So the knowledge of AI is increasing. A lot more specialists are being hired. We don't only have the one data scientist. We have everything from data engineers to data governance specialists to AI and model engineers. So a lot of more diversity and maturity in the overall landscape around AI.
And Thierry, anything that strikes you, like in particular?
Well, it's true that with the COVID pandemics, which took place over the last 2 years, it's very interesting to see that this has not slowed down the pace of development of data and AI practice in Luxembourg. And maybe a few stats, a few numbers. If we look at data analysis, for instance, we have now more than half of companies in Luxembourg who have a high maturity in terms of data analysis compared to only 29% 2 years ago. Data architecture, same thing, 45% consider they have a high maturity compared to 27% 2 years ago. So these are impressive numbers, and I think we can be somehow proud of the evolution of this topic on the Luxembourg market.
So even if it's hard to admit, it's already 2 years with COVID, but do you think COVID in a way has influenced this kind of dramatic change? Because it's almost doubling the percentage.
Well, I don't know what you think, Andreas, but I don't know. It's a good question for sure. IT has been very critical during the pandemics because of home-based working. Everybody was relying on IT technology, but it's more things around video conference.
Yes, exactly.
All the digital workplace technologies, rather than pure AI.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can also say that AI has had certainly some impact on this. So many of the video transformation, many of the more efficient algorithms that are used to make sure that you can get 20, 30 people in a video stream at the time are helped by machine learning. And also, if you click the button to blur out your messy background, that is also supported by machine learning. So there are all of these factors that come into play that play a small but really quite exciting role also when it comes to this forced digital transformation that was brought onto us by COVID. So there is certainly quite a big aspect on that. On the other hand, of course, many organizations were feeling the crunch. So business was slowing down, and that leads often to investments in the most innovative parts of your organizations also to slow down. So it's really hard to say which was it essentially more of a net gain or a net loss for AI? That is really hard to quantify, and that we didn't even figure out with our survey. But what we can say is that the numbers of investments are on the rise again. So companies are interested in investing in AI, investing in the people around AI. So that is quite exciting for the near future.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, Carla, I leave you, please, the next one.
Well, I think Thierry answered the next question.
Yeah, we'll go to the fifth, I think.
Yes, let's jump to this one. So what do these results mean to Luxembourg in terms of AI positioning on a global level? Has something changed?
So talking about the global position, we have a few indicators. So if we take the Oxford Insights statistics, Luxembourg is ranked in the 15th position out of 172 countries.
That's good.
That's
very good.
Very decent number.
Very decent number.
And now if we look at the Western Europe countries only, it's ranked in the 9th position. Okay, so still a very good score. And interestingly, in terms of responsible AI, which is a sub-index, Luxembourg is ranked as a third country. So it means that in Luxembourg, we have this particularity of paying a lot of attention to the responsible AI. So, the fact to make sure that you really control your algorithm, that you can explain them, that you avoid any ethical bias or any issues.
Very interesting.
Yeah, indeed.
Exactly.
So indeed, that is one particular strength of Luxembourg. I mean, one has to be a bit realistic about that. So we are still Luxembourg. We are not the US or China that has thousands of scientists working on AI topics. So for Luxembourg, it's important to find those areas where we can really shine or make an impact. Responsible AI is one thing where our proximity also to the European regulation brings us quite a bit of a benefit. And another point is, of course, the financial sector in Luxembourg. So developing AI around financial services for asset management, for the industries where Luxembourg already is traditionally strong, is something there where there is a lot of interest, of course, and where also Luxembourg has a chance to make really impact on a global scale.
So it's a sort of specialized AI development. We focused on certain industries where we can
make a difference.
Indeed. So it's not that Luxembourg should not focus on being the leading AI algorithm researchers that does a lot of basic research on how to do the best algorithms, because there are other countries that have much more resources and quite a bit of a head start. But really taking these developed tools and applying them appropriately to solve challenges in those industries is something where Luxembourg can build its niche and make a lot of impact in the future.
By the way, guys, did you hear like something is burning, or there was a sort of a shh. Okay, it's not me. So if you by the way are listening to the podcast and it sounds something weird behind, it's not us.
No,
it's something around us. So we jump to the next question, and it's about. Well, it sounds romantic, but it's a bed of roses. A bed of roses.
I had to search for this expression.
A bed of roses is actually a song.
It's a song.
It is.
That shows you are young. You don't know Bon Jovi anymore.
Actually, I do, because my sister, who's older, she's a big fan of Bon Jovi. So.
Okay, the song is
but I didn't know this song.
The song is fantastic.
Okay.
Well, we want to say, what are the hurdles? Hurdles?
Hurdles.
Oh my God. Hurdles. Sorry. There's a hurdle.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one, yes, especially for a not native speaker. So when it comes to AI for in Luxembourg organization, so because everything is not a bed of roses, that's what I wanted to say.
Indeed, and in Germany we have the saying that life is not a pony farm, so that is also quite similar in what it tries to convey. But the interesting part about this is actually that the key challenges kind of remain since 2019. So one is the lack of talent. So it's really hard to hire data scientists, or particularly, of course, good data scientists or data specialists on the market. The market is quite crunched because everybody tries to hire, and the universities are not yet up to speed to build up this huge pool of new talent. So that is something that still persists and will likely persist for a few more years.
It's more than persist. If we look at even the indicator, we have almost 60% of companies having issues with talent. Compared to only 36% 2 years ago. So it's getting worse.
Yeah,
it's getting, yes.
It's getting worse, indeed. The economy is picking up again, and people are desperately looking, including us. So, I mean, we are lucky. We find very talented people, but it's tough. It's quite the challenge to fill all of the needs that one has around data and AI.
There's a very subtle invitation for you guys to send your CV to Andreas.
Obviously.
If you are into this field. So, Carlita, could you ask the next one?
Yes. Do you have any tips to share that could help organizations overcome the talent challenge? But I guess that you
all
yourself are looking at all challenges. Yes.
I think one of the key points there is data citizenship, which means that
that's interesting.
Anyway, the need for data and AI experts, but not only experts, data and AI people, is not going to stop. You know, it's an evolution of our labor employee market that these skills are requested. So, of course, universities are adding more and more of data and AI into their curriculum, but this won't be enough. Mm-hmm. And I think, I truly believe that everybody today should be able to use data and simple AI solutions as we are using currently, you know, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or I would add Teams and these solutions. And that should become part of our day-to-day to use these things. So that's what we call data citizenship. So to have all people able to contribute to the data and AI thing. So you need to decentralize
That's
the
interesting.
data and AI across your organization. But of course, for that, you need still some central entity able to provide the proper training, coaching, governance,
Exactly.
and of course, skill set to manage that.
So without going too political, but it's also governmental thing. So is the government called to address this topic as well?
Definitely. I mean, the government to some extent sets the education agenda, sets the investments that are done in specific parts, and as Thierry already mentioned, it is getting into more curricular. So data and AI knowledge we see starting in quite early in school these days with programming courses that are being offered. And of course, for university education, they are able to provide more and more funding to those areas that will see more demand in the future. And here we see a lot of specific master and bachelor courses around data science and AI coming out, which is good. And they are also getting more specialized per industry. So you can have something about data science in business or data science in finance. And so that is something where the government already plays a big role and will do so in the future. And of course, another aspect could be supporting further education. So like the data citizenship can of course apply to your to any artisan out there that wants to use these kind of tools, or to any business person out there, and they can offer these kind of courses to the broad public.
You could also mention that we were in touch with the lycée in Luxembourg. So it's not only for master's degree, but also for lower degrees. Now that some specific curriculums are created to have data and AI technicians.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really should touch the society in general. Not everyone will become a data scientist, but like you mentioned,
To have some knowledge, like
yes,
coding
to
or
extent. Yes, exactly.
yes,
That's interesting.
indeed. But I also think that it's something on a government level, but also within companies. So I don't know, for instance, if within PwC, do you foresee anything like to encourage people to learn
Is there any-
this
There is a huge transformation program of our people at PwC called Out Tomorrow.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, and data and AI is a very big part of it.
There is a blog, by the way, on that. So if you go to our blog, and like a couple of months ago, you will find
Indeed.
something.
I mean,
like
just
that.
to give a few numbers, that led to several hundred people within PwC already taking part in such courses, learning more about the most common data analytics tools, to learn how you can move from Excel to interactive dashboards to more advanced analytics tools. So we definitely do support this and have been a strong proponent of this, and we are trying to essentially upskill everybody on this.
Okay.
Great.
Now let's get romantic. Do you agree with this? So let's get philosophical. More than romantic. But it's about relationship, the next question. And it's about the AI-human relationship.
True.
So the question is as simple as this one. Who holds the upper hand? So who influences who?
Not sure this is a healthy relationship.
We need more AI than AI needs us? Well, probably the answer is, I don't know really what the answer is. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, clearly humans have the upper hand. AI doesn't have hands. AI doesn't have eyes. So we need to connect those systems for an AI, which is just a piece of software, to be powerful. But clearly AI has the upper hand. It does many tasks much faster and much more reliable than we do. And there never will be any human that will beat an AI at Go.
Yeah, exactly.
The truth is, I think it will be best when both work hand in hand. So even the modern Go players, the modern world-class chess players, they have a big computer in the background that helps them in building their strategy. And just like in the future, the CEOs will have a big AI in the background that helps them build the strategy, or everybody will become more efficient and can focus really on the creative, the strategy setting tasks, or on those human communication tasks that AI will not be able to take over from us anytime soon.
There was just to continue what Andreas just said, there was a big contest organized, a chess game, where teams could fight against each other, and teams could be supported by AI, by computers.
Okay.
Wow.
So it could be 1, 2, 3 computers plus 1 human, or just computers, or whatever. And you have a big chess masters fighting against the best computers and against hybrid teams of computer
That's
and
super
people.
cool. And who won?
Yes.
And who won? Actually, it's not the best masters, it's not the best computers who won. It is, let's say, more average level chess masters
Okay.
together with a few computers.
Wow.
So the most efficient is not the best AI or the best brains, it's the best
Together.
combination
Yes.
of the
So a healthy relationship.
two. Yeah.
Not toxic.
Not toxic.
You have to work really hard to keep it healthy. Yeah.
So the next question actually is Luis's question.
Is
and
it
he
mine?
should ask it.
But just
Oh, yes.
thinking about this philosophical question, it's still something we could discuss for hours.
Yes.
Like talking about the autonomous vehicle. It's clear that an autonomous car can drive much better than humans. It's clear.
Yeah, that's clear.
And maybe not exactly today, but
Yes.
in a few years, in a couple of years, you could reduce and these things are connected to each other. So it's not like just you have one single autonomous vehicle. This vehicle is connected to another one arriving at a traffic light, and so they can connect to each other to make sure they will never crash
yes.
together. You see?
Yeah.
And this is something humans cannot do.
I must confess
Yes.
something very childish I do sometimes. So in the town I live, there is a test, driverless car. It's a little bus, really, moving every day. So sometimes I just go in front of it, like purposely in front of it, because I say, stop now. And the bus stops. So
Oh, really?
that means it's working, which also means I am helping the research. Yes.
You're capturing very important training data, but just during the Olympics in Tokyo, that was also one of those autonomous buses that actually hit a pedestrian. So you better be a bit careful.
Well,
Yes.
then I go, then I go to the judge and I say, this guy has hit me, so I need to be, how to say, in the
Compensation?
Compensation.
But another question about this autonomous vehicle. Let's say you are in a vehicle, and it's a very famous example. And suddenly the vehicle is to hit a pedestrian. Okay? What's his decision? He has two options. Either to hit the pedestrian or to have an accident with you, and you would get injured as the passenger, not the driver in that case.
That's
Exactly.
a very good one.
Yes.
I don't know what to say, but even
Me
if
neither.
whichever the decision is, who pays the insurance? That's the problem. It always comes down to a financial thing. So who pays the insurance? Well, that's we need a glass of wine to discuss that one.
That's
but
true.
actually, the next one it's funny. It's silly. But if you had to choose between Wall-E or R2D2, Wall-E movie and R2D2 Star Wars
Movie.
one of the stars, which one would you choose? From the bottom of
Well,
your...
first, Luis, if you allow, in the new Star Wars, it's not R2D2 anymore.
No, it's true.
It's this.
But we're already old guys, so...
He's called BB-8, Thierry.
Oh,
Exactly,
thank you.
it's very
Thank you,
nice.
thank you.
You're right. But let's talk about the classical one. So, which one?
Let's imagine we have an old population of in the audience.
For me, it's clearly R2D2.
Okay.
So I think he's more adventurous. He's an inventor. He is more like an engineer. So he certainly would have been stuck on Earth for 700 years. So I think he would have left on his own self-built spaceship after 6 months.
Very good answer, Thierry, in your case. What do you think?
It's also R2D2 just because I like Star Wars.
Carla?
Same for me. I'm a Star Wars fan.
Oh, well, I think me too, but I just
You think?
I think just the other one is romantic. And maybe I am too.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm the one with Wall-E.
Okay. Why? Just because
Because
he...
he's romantic.
Okay.
I mean, he leaves everything behind for love.
True.
So we have one more question that I kindly give it to you, Carla.
Thank you, which is our crystal ball question. So if you could anticipate trends for the next edition of the survey, what would those be? Or maybe not anticipate, but what would you like to see involving
If you have a crystal ball.
Yes,
Yeah,
or a wish list. What would you like to see in 2 years in the next survey?
100%.
100%
We want
deployment.
100% of AI use, and all of them have used services by PwC. That would be
Very honest
the easy
answer.
question. But I think what we want to go further into is the whole regulatory landscape that will develop in the next 2 years. So maybe your listeners have heard about the AI Act in Europe that will be coming out in the near future that regulates many topics around AI. So we are really curious to learn within the next edition how those is already affecting Luxembourg companies, or how though they think this will affect them in the future, because it will impact all users of AI, all producers of AI, and those that import or use a third-party tool that leverages AI, which are many these days.
But also, maybe Thierry, you work with businesses a lot, so probably also behind this AI implementation, you also need to understand which part of the business can be AI powered. And it's a question out of the blue, but I was wondering, are they also, organizing in a way that they know where AI can help? Are they far from that? That's something you could expect happening in 2 years' time?
So as Andreas was mentioning, the regulatory use cases, so everything what we could call RegTech using AI, is of course a very promising area, especially for financial sector. Okay, and clearly when we look also at the answers from the survey, this is a top priority for financial sector. It all started with things like data privacy and GDPR. But it's still a very important topic for the Luxembourg industry. I'm talking about asset management, the alternatives industry, private equity, real estate, but also banking. So I would say more for the financial sector and insurance. But now if we look also at the answers, the top one, the first area of use of AI in Luxembourg is operational efficiency. Okay.
Interesting.
So it's very clear in non-financial sector, public sector and industry and services, but it's a top one. And the second, which is pretty common to all industries, is to customer understanding of your customers. So it's things like customer segmentation, and it's linked to marketing. What is the next best thing that you should sell to a client? So this is also a very, very, very hot topic.
That's very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, coming back to your question about the future, I think, the maturity has increased, but we see still a lot of barriers. And we also observe that 2 years ago, companies were even more aggressive in terms of AI. So most of the companies 2 years ago said, within 2 years, we'll be very, very innovative with AI. We'll have a lot of practices. AI will be everywhere in the company. And definitely this has not happened. And today, people have the same expectations that within 2 years, they will reach that level that they couldn't reach in the last 2 years. So let's be optimistic and also realistic. I think for me, within 2 years, what I'd like to see is most, if not all, organizations being at ease with their data environment. Being confident about the quality of their data, being confident about the technology they are using, and there we could talk about cloud solutions, which facilitate also the technology step. So that they could be in a much better position to test artificial intelligence in a number of use cases and to foster innovation in Luxembourg. So
those are very smart answers. Thanks a lot.
Yes,
Thanks a lot.
thank you.
So, by the way, you can visit our website and you will find the Data and AI survey. Don't forget that one, because you'll get lots of information on data and analytics and AI and implementation, areas of implementation and all
In
that.
Luxembourg.
In Luxembourg, of course. And we thank you a lot for your very kind participation and acceptance to be with us.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you
It was
very
a pleasure.
much. I wish you a
Thank you
very
for having
nice
us.
Thank you, Scala. Thank you very much.
rest of the day, and don't get in love with a robot, not yet.
Not yet. We'll see if the
Okay.
next podcast will be done by robots only.
So that was all for today. This is Tech Talk, technology made simple.
Over a cup of coffee.
Or what do you prefer to drink?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Black.
Okay. And Thierry, a beer, of course.
Yeah, wine.
You are from Belgium.
Red wine. No,
Red
I'm not
wine?
Belgium.
You're not from Belgium?
No.
Oh my gosh. No, you are from France.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is a major mistake.
So the
Thanks
next
a lot.
podcast will be presented by somebody else then, Luis.
Yes, I think so.
Until the
So
next
much
one.
was Luis' last podcast.
Thanks a lot. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
And that's all for today. This is Tech Talk, technology made simple over a cup of coffee. Thank you for listening, and until the next episode.